Alright guys, what is up? My name is Ecstatic and welcome to the Ecstatic Show. Today we are basically going to be doing a Photoshop tutorial on how to make a really clean, a really nice YouTube banner. The one that I actually use for my channel and for all the channels that I make channel art for, because I just think that it's really clean, really looks nice. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much. We absolutely smashed our like goal for last video. We only asked for 2 likes and we got 5 whole likes. So we're gonna be crazy this time and we're gonna go, can we hit 3 likes on this video? If we can, I would just be so happy. And so let's make it happen. Make sure to click that like and subscribe button and we're gonna get right into the video. Alright guys, so the first thing that you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to open up your Adobe Photoshop. There. And it should bring you to a screen like this. If not, you want to click File, and then we can go to New. But we're just going to click on New right here. And what you want to do is, I'm going to title this Banner Tutorial. Misspelled that. Alright, so great. And then you're going to want to make the dimensions 2560 by 1440. And you want to use your unit as pixels. Pixels are what you want to have. They're just, that's how we format stuff. And then we're going to click OK, and you should get a blank template like this. Now the first step is, you're going to want to go and you're going to want to open this template. Now I will link this template in the description for anyone who wants to use it, because it is the most helpful thing. So I downloaded it and here it is. It's very helpful. It's going to show us where we can put stuff so that it won't interfere with different devices. So now that we have it open, we're going to click Control A, Control C, and then we're going to go back over here, and we're going to go and we're going to go to Banner Tutorial, and we're going to click Control V, and now it's in here, which is awesome for what we're doing. Okay, so now that we've done that, we are going to go over here and we are going to create a new layer, which is this button right here. It's right next to the trash can, it's to the left. And once you guys click that, we're going to go over to our rectangle tool right here. It could look like any of these shapes for you guys, but just right click if it's a different one and click on rectangle tool. And now we're going to set our background, our color to black, which will be very nice. And now we're going to make rectangles that line up with the TV box, because we're not going to design this entire thing for TV because it's just too complicated and not a lot of people are watching on TV. But anyway, you guys can if you want. I prefer to just put the black bars over and it looks clean. But moving on, now that we've done this, we are actually going to go again and we're going to create a new layer again. And now we are going to use the rectangle tool again. What we're going to do is we're going to change our color to a nice little blue right there. And we're going to make another rectangle in the middle area, and it's fine if it's not exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag it behind and it will fill the layer that we had before. But now what we're going to do is we're actually going to click on the eye on that. And really quickly, now that we've chosen our color, we're just going to go over to this bar on the side right here, and we're going to drag these out so that we know where this text and logo safe area is, because that's where the mobile device is going to save, and it's just going to be really helpful. And now we can go ahead and we can put this layer back on, and we have our guidelines there, and we can actually go ahead and delete this first layer because we don't need it anymore. So now the great thing that we can do is, from here on out, it is truly up to you guys. I'm going to show you how I do it, but it is truly your banner, so you're welcome to do whatever you want. And the first step that I like to take is I like to go to blending options, and I like to go to color overlay, and that's fun. I like to do a nice light gray, and then we try and mess with the color a little bit here. Let's do a little bit darker, like that. I really like that. And see, now it doesn't pop as much. If someone's looking at it, it's not going to hurt their eyes. In my opinion, it just looks really nice that way. But once again, it's completely up to you guys what you want to do with it. Moving on. Alright, so next we're going to go get some text. For this video, I'm going to be using the text Molot because I really like that font. And we are going to make the text color white. Now, I get all of my fonts from dafont.com, and I will make sure to link them in the description so you guys can, if you're going to make a banner, go find some really nice fonts. But yeah, so what I'm going to type is we are going to type your name here. And now that we have that, we're going to click on the resize tool, and we're going to hit Control T. We're going to hold Shift, and we're going to drag this up so it's a little bit bigger. Oh, I misspelled that. I should say your name here. Let's go back in and fix that. Let's right there. Alright, great. And now that we have our text done, we're going to hit Control A, and then we're going to hit Layer, Align Layers to Selection. We're going to do Vertical Centers, and then we're going to go back, and we're going to do Horizontal Centers. And now our text is completely centered, and it looks really nice on every device. It's going to be directly in the center of your phone. But next step is we're actually going to go to blending options on this as well. And now this is where it's really up to you guys. Is text is just playing around with the blending options until you find something that you like. Now personally, I like to add a stroke, an inner shadow. It just makes the text pop a little bit. You can always play with the size and stuff. I like to do, one of the things that I always do is I like to put on a gradient overlay, just a simple black and white, and then I turn it to 15%. Gives your text a nice little metallic look, very clean. And then I also like to do drop shadow. And my settings currently is at 0, 33, and 33. And that just kind of gives it a little glow, which I think looks very, very clean. So now that we're done, we're going to click OK. But that's completely up to you guys, so you guys can do whatever you please. Alright, so the next thing that I like to do is we have a lot of blank space in our mobile tab, in our mobile area. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this, and we are going to type, one of the things that I like to do is I like to type the official channel of. And this just kind of fills space very well. And now we're going to click on our resize. We're going to hit Control T again. And we're going to make this a little bit bigger. Yes, like that. Alright, and now we're going to go back over here. We're going to apply. We're going to click Control A, Layer, Align Layers to Selection. But this time we're only going to do horizontal centers. Instead it's on it, because if we did vertical centers, it would line up with our Your Name Here text. But next, what we're going to do is we actually don't even have to go into blending options this time, unless you want to do different options. What we can really do is we can just go to Copy Layer Style, and then we can go over here, and we can paste the layer style in. And now that text matches up. It looks really nice, really clean. And what you can do is you can now go into blending options and maybe mess with some of the options. But still, you guys are probably wondering why we have all this blank space here. Well, one of the things that I personally like to do is I like to go and type what the channel is going to be about. So I like to type, oh, why isn't that working? Let's just put check. And that was weird. Alright, so we're going to do stuff, content, and more. And now, you guys can type what you're going to include on your channel. For this, I'm just going to type stuff, content, and more. I always like to add the and more at the end, because it just kind of, because you might do some different videos that you plan to do, and it's just nice to have that flexibility. Of course, you're not limited to it. And now that we have it on this layer, on this line that we want, we're going, since it's kind of at the bottom, I like the size that we have it, we're going to go back up, we're going to hit Control A once again, we're going to go to Layer, Align Layers to Selection, and then we're going to do a horizontal center once again, so it's nice and centered, but it's on a different line. And this time, what we're going to do is we're just going to go, and we're going to go to Paste Layer Style, because we already had it copied. And now this is what people on the mobile device are going to see, and it's just going to look really nice for them, because they're going to be able to see the name of your channel, and they're not just going to see random letters from what we're going to put on the sides. But you guys might be wondering, what are we going to put on the side? Because right now it just looks very blank. So what we're basically going to do is now I like to add some social media on the side. So what you guys can do is you can look up the social media logo of your choice, and you just want to type in that thing, the name of the app, the word logo, and then PNG at the end. That'll make it really easy to work with in Photoshop. So I always like to use a PNG file. And we're gonna go to open. Let's see what we have here. We have an Instagram logo. Alright, so now we open that, we're gonna click Control A, Control C. Once again, you guys can use whatever logos you want. It's honestly completely up to you. And I like to get that, and now we're gonna click Control T. We're going to bring it over here. We're going to make it a little bit smaller because it's very big and it kind of takes a lot of attention. And what I like to do is I like to line it up with the bottom of the text right there and try and make it centered. There's no way for us to center it when it's in the sidebars. So, I mean, I'm sure that there is, but I don't know it, and that looks just fine in my opinion. So, next we're going to do this. We're going to go into blend. Oh wait, no. Shoot, I forgot something. We're actually going to go to Paste Layer Style once again. but now you might say, oh, it looks a little blocky, Ecstatic. I don't really like how that looks. So what I personally like to do with these logos is I like to go to blending option. I like to turn off the gradient overlay and instead switch it for a color overlay, which we're going to go over here. We're going to grab a white and we're going to make the opacity 100%. And now that looks just like our text. It really fits in with the style that we were going for in the banner, and it just looks really nice overall. Now we can go grab our text, and we can do that, and then your name. Now, if you guys use DaFont like I was telling you to, you guys might get a font where it doesn't actually show the @ symbol, and now that just means it's not a glitch on your computer. It just means that the font maker didn't include it. It's a common thing that happens. Just go find a new font that kind of looks similar to the one that you were using, and we can be out of the way. But what I just did is I like to grab the text your name. It really fits nicely. We want to keep it behind that blue bar, and we actually want to line it up with the top of this. So this is lined up with the bottom of this. This is lined up with the top of this. And what we're going to do is, you guys guessed it, now we're going to go and we're going to paste layer style just so the text pops. And actually our text is kind of overlapping there, so we're going to bring it over just a little bit, and that looks very nice. Now it's not going to be visible on the mobile stuff, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, and now we still have some blank space over here, so you guessed it, we're going to go back and we're going to do the exact same thing. So I will catch up to you guys once I have put in the second social media logo, and I will see you there since it's the exact same progress. Alright guys, we are back and we have our Twitter logo in this time. Once again, I've just put it here, and then we're going to click Control T, and then we're going to size it down. What I actually like to do is drag it over here and make it the exact same size as this. So we're going to that looks about right, and then we're going to drag it over, and we're going to line it up with the bottom of that text, and we're going to kind of drag it around a little bit. So if we can get it to line up. There we go. And now that looks just about centered to me. And so that looks really nice, and it's lined up once again, so they are perfectly in line. And now what we're going to do is we're going to once again go to paste layer style, looks blocky. We're going to go to blending options, we're going to turn off the gradient overlay, we're going to go to color overlay, and we're going to switch it to a nice white, and we're going to turn the opacity once again up to 100%. So now it matches up. It looks really, really nice. And yeah, so now our logo looks really clean. And once again, we're going to go to, we're going to type @your name. And I forgot to type the R right there. So now it says your name. And you guys can always resize the font, but what we want to do is we want to make it perfectly in line with that, just like we did on the last one, and it is in the same exact line. We lined it up with the top of the bottom text, so it looks really, really clean right now. And it's all symmetrical. And now we're going to go and we're going to paste the layer style on top of that. And now our whole banner really pops. It looks really nice. But it's kind of plain in the background. So instead of just having a plain blue, what I like to do is I actually like to download some texture packs, and I have some on my computer which are going to make it look it's going to add some flavor to our background. So we're going to scroll through here, and let's see if I can find one. I think I have one. Here's a texture, so I will link the one that I'm using in the description below. You guys can of course just look up cool textures, that's what I always do. And we're going to go Control A, Control C, then we're going to bring it over here, and we're going to Control V. And now we're going to click Control T, and we're going to resize it. And don't worry that it's blocking everything right now. That is perfectly okay. So now that we have that, we're going to go to our resize tool, and we're going to click Accept, and then we're going to hit Control A. We're going to go to Layer, Align Layers to Selection, Vertical Centers, Layer, Align Layers to Selection, Horizontal Centers. And that's just going to make sure that we have an equal amount of our texture on both sides, and it's going to look really clean. And now you might be asking yourself, well, it's blocking everything static. How is that going to help us? Well, what we're actually going to do is we're going to drag this down behind all of our stuff until it's behind everything. But still, now you can't see the blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the opacity, and we're going to turn it down until I think about 40% works. Yeah, and now we have a nice little blue texture in our background, and that's going to look really, really clean. And I'm actually going to bring up all of the drop-down menus, because we have a lot of stuff so that you guys can see all the layers that we've got. And yeah, so that is actually how you make a very, very professional banner. And I don't have that C there, let me delete that, just to not confuse you guys. Okay, well, whatever. I mean, you don't need that C is not part of anything. So basically, guys, this is how you make a really clean looking banner, and it's just gonna look really nice for your channel, and overall, it just looks really clean, really nice, and you guys can use it for your channel, and this will be actually part of a series that I'm doing called How to Start Your Channel on YouTube, and every couple days, we're going to do an episode on how to do a different step of actually starting your channel on YouTube, because I have actually done this for a couple of my friends. I've set up their channels, and they're doing very well so far. So if you guys want to check that series out, well, if you guys are watching this later, there will be a playlist for that series. If you're watching this right now, make sure that you click that like and subscribe button so we can smash that like goal of 3 whole likes. And we are actually going to end the video there. That I will link all of the textures all to the font, all of the logos and stuff that I use in the bottom, and the template and stuff like that. And you guys should be able to make this banner just your own, just like I have here, and it'll look really, really, really nice. So I am Ecstatic, and I will see you guys in the next one.